Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Well, today it is the 2nd of June and it's time to share the Sheetload. This is the Sheetload collaboration team that Call Me Crafty Owl puts together, and this year we have a special guest every month, and this month is Jessica from Paper, Ink, and Stamp. This is her YouTube channel. I'm sure she'd love for you to subscribe, hit the bell. You know what? We'd all love that. And you can see everything that we have made using the link to the playlist down below. You can click the playlist and it will play one video right after the other. Jessica uses a Sheetload each month, and she actually converts it into like the UK and European sizes. So if those are measurements that you've always wanted, if you work in centimeters basically and you work with a different size paper, you definitely want to check that out. I am showing you here the June 2024 Sheetload of cards. I do have a new series on my channel. So this month you'll see me come back and use this Sheetload again, but with junk journals. This month for my cards, I'm using this really cool layering stencil and this Golden Desert collection from Prima. The Golden Desert collection is a couple of years old. I've actually used it in a Sheetload before. You may be able to find it if you Google it and go to shopping. You may find it somewhere. I have always loved it, and I just love the palette and the theme of it. Just everything about it makes me happy. And so I decided to pull this out since it's summer and it already feels like I'm in the desert. I'm in Central Texas. It seemed appropriate. So I hadn't used this Simon Hurley stencil set before, but it's a stroke of brilliance. Way to go, Simon. Kiss your brain. This is a good one. And I am going to show you a few alterations that I've made to the Sheetload. One, I'm using this Canson XL watercolor paper, and this is kind of important. On the 12-inch side, I'm going to cut it down to in 3-inch strips, which I will get 4. So these will be 3 by 9 when I'm done cutting it like this. Then I'll rotate it and then cut more 3-inch squares. So I'm going to cut each one of those down to 3 inches. So from this one sheet of 9 by 12 watercolor paper, I'm actually going to get 12 squares. So I could make 12 cards in my Sheetload, but I am going to stick to 8. And then I am not using 6 by 6 paper today just because I don't have it for this collection. So I'm going to make it work with the paper that I have. And now I'm going to use this stencil and I'm going to create some desert scenes on these little 3 by 3 squares. The stencil is 6 inches wide, so I decided to do 2 squares at one time. It just makes it more efficient, and this actually went really quickly because the layered stencils are so well designed that it was just so easy to do. So the first thing I did was I laid down these mountains, and then I'm going to put in my sky. So I'm masking everything but the sky and adding the sky in. Then I will move that up, cover up the sky that I inked, and now I'm going to ink in the lower part of the landscape. I'm using tea dye for the mountain and sand, the desert scene, and then I'm actually going to use the scorched timber for a silhouette of cactus. So this is like sunset. And I'm actually not putting any green on these cards. I'm sticking to the color palette that was in the paper pad. So I'm just following that color palette. I am adding in touches of other colors, but not much. One of the great things about ink blending and making this my own is that I can coordinate it later depending on what else I want to bring into the card. Like I'm going to decorate the insides of my cards. Okay, so once I had 8 of those little scenes done, which went super fast, Then I moved on and I am going to cut my matting layer. Now, I'm cutting mine to 4¼ by 5½, using the full sheet for my matted layer backgrounds. I am adding these to a 5x7 card base. If you print to scale, the front of the card is an A2 size. I love that aspect of using the Sheetload. Now here is another way that I am making the sketch work for me. That strip right there, I am cutting to 5½ so that it goes the full width of my matted layer. So it's going to be 5½ by 1½. And so I'll cut a bunch of those strips. It always helps to work on your cards in this mass making style. So you do all of one operation at a time. And so to get enough strips, I did have one strip that was a little thinner than the others, but that really doesn't bother me. The only way that would bother me is if I was selling these as a set, but I'm not, so it's fine. I did go ahead and cut these down just as the Sheetload calls for, and my idea in creating this scene was creating like a triptych image, which is where you have 3 panels that form one picture or one scene. So that's where I got the idea of doing a desert scene in that part of the card. Now I really want to decorate the rest of this soft pink panel. So I brought in the Flowering Desert stamp set from Stampin' Up. This is many years old, okay? It's not new. I don't have anything new from Stampin' Up. I haven't in a very long time. But I just love this set, and now I know where some holes are in my collection. I do not have enough cactus stamps, I discovered when making this card. Here again, I am using this scorched timber color, which is great because I'm able to coordinate the cactus that I added into my triptych scene with my background, and I will coordinate it with the insides of my cards. One other thing that I did was I added these panels behind my cards. Those are just 1" by 7" panels. Now look, some of them I didn't put all the way at the top, and when I realized I was doing that, I really changed it because I like them more at the top and balanced throughout the card. There are special instructions on the Sheetload this month, so always look for that when you're doing the Sheetload. Here's how I decorated the inside. Each one of these cards is different. Some of them I used ephemera, some of them I used the chipboard stickers. A lot of them say hi there as the sentiment. I love that because it kind of makes it feel like a postcard or a summer travel card. And yeah, I just really love the way these came together. I hope you're feeling inspired, and I know you're going to want to check out what the collaboration team has made. So have fun watching the playlist, which again is linked in the description box down below. Go get yourself a Sheetload. They're so much fun to play with. And I was just showing you this Tim Holtz stamp set that I used on the insides of my cards. Thanks for watching. Bye.